Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bad Movie Brothers. I'm Eric.
I'm Chad.
And today we watched The Shrunken City.
Indeed.
From the studio that brought us Mystery Monsters.
Yes, I noticed that. The Pulse Pounders.
That's a division of Full Moon Entertainment.
Wait, am I wrong, or was it part of like Sci-Fi Kids or something? What was that?
I think it was. I think they probably tried 5 or 6 different, like I think sometimes it was released under Pulse Pounders,
right?
And sometimes under Full Moon, and maybe sometimes under Sci-Fi Kids.
Gotcha.
And then like Blockbuster had their own special ones. Because if you remember, we watched Mystery Monsters. It was a special 1-hour version for Blockbuster. I went looking for this movie on YouTube because at a certain point I needed to watch part of it at home.
Yep.
And it is on YouTube in the 1-hour version. So they cut a bunch of stuff out of this, a half hour's worth, and apparently it still works as a movie.
Okay.
Which isn't terribly surprising.
Hey, this movie, with like some real money behind it, would be a really good movie.
Right, it would. There were many times while watching it that I kind of felt like I could see us watching this.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, I could see this.
It was pretty good, I thought.
If they showed this to us at the YMCA, it would not be out of line.
Here's a little trivia for you.
Yeah.
The YMCA of which you speak.
Yeah.
The one that was right by our house on the port.
Yeah.
I will be hosting events there this year.
No.
Yes.
What, financially type events?
Yep.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I guess.
That's interesting. Well, good on you, mate. Good on you.
Thank you.
Shrunken City, meanwhile, this is, for those of you at home, this is the story of a pair of doofus kids who find an alien city that has been shrunk down in a bottle. They find it in a construction site, and then they have to keep the alien city from A, being stolen and I guess destroyed by different aliens.
Right.
Or B, enlarging itself and killing everyone both in the Shrunken City and in the city that the kids live in.
Correct.
That is the plot. Shrunken City.
It is Power Rangers mixed with Doctor Who in a weird way.
It's a lot of things.
It really starts with the most boring credit sequence ever. I hated the credit sequence.
Yeah, they skimped on the credit sequence for sure.
Oh, that's all they skipped on?
Well, I felt like your Doctor Who reference was apt. I at many times felt like this was a very Doctor Who-y looking production.
Yeah, and then the putties from Power Rangers are chasing the kids around all the time.
Right, because the bad guys are these aliens that are called the Ood, who are zombies wrapped in chicken wire.
How do you spell the Ood?
I assume OOD.
That's how I assume.
Let's consult the box.
All right.
It's Pulse Pounder's box. No mention of the Ood. No mention of the Ood on the box.
Too bad.
That's a shame. So there's a whole 5-minute prologue to this movie that purports to explain what the Shrunken City is, how it got shrunken, who the Ood are.
I didn't get any of it.
I didn't understand a thing.
People were running and falling, and then some guy had something in his hand, and the city shrunk. It was weird.
Well, running and falling through like a Renaissance festival.
Am I wrong? Is this city on the Earth, or was that on an alien planet?
I believe it was on an alien planet.
How did it get to the Earth?
Now, you see, that is one of my key questions.
Okay.
And I have no idea. So the kids at a certain point, they shrink down into the bottle, and they talk to a steampunk Santa Claus named
Doctor Who.
Yeah, named Prime.
But that is not our only problem.
What? You mean there's more?
Unfortunately, yes.
Who is useless throughout this whole, but he's like the head scientist of the city or something. And he's the one who, video game style, is telling the kids what they need to accomplish.
Right.
Over and over again. And he says something about how they're from another dimension and they like got transported to the Earth for safety, I guess, to escape the Ood. What the Ood want with anything at any point is well beyond my guess.
They were the best part of the movie, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we need to talk about that in depth. But even accepting that like somehow they got transported to Earth, how they then like got buried in an archaeological site where they're now building an office high-rise is beyond me.
Shouldn't we report this to the museum or something?
And let them take credit for my discovery?
Our discovery.
Well, there could be some buried treasure or a mummy or something.
And where it's buried
Yeah.
has to be the largest cave that is unknown to the world in existence. It's a very large cave.
And one that you think would create significant problems for the building of this high-rise.
Yes, that's a sinkhole waiting to happen.
That's right. Yeah, it makes... Well, and there's like this like elaborate like hieroglyphic like doors that are like the entry to it and everything.
Right.
Look at this. It's some kind of
Hieroglyphics.
Right.
Why there wasn't a scene like this seems like they're a movie where like in The Last Crusade where Indiana Jones meets those guys whose whole like life is dedicated to like preserving the Grail. Like
Right.
there'd be a whole cult of weirdos who are all about saving the bottle.
Yeah.
There are not.
Why is it called a bottle? It's not a bottle, right?
Yeah, it's more of a dome.
Yeah, globe, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Which brings me to another. So the kids are, I don't know, amateur spelunkers, and they find this dome or globe.
One is an amateur spelunker at best.
The other is his friend.
Yeah, some girl that has a back door in her room. What's up with that? Who has the back door of their house in their room?
Are you crazy? It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
I would think that if you had a daughter, an underage daughter, that you would not put her in a room with an unlocked sliding glass door.
And a bunch of windows that some creepy kid looks in while she sleeps.
Well, also, first off, these kids barely have parents.
Right, yes.
There is token appearances by their moms, and that is it.
And they have had many dealings with the police.
Yeah, a lot of dealings with the police, it seems like. So much of this is stuff I want to talk about in depth. But suffice to say, they get the bottle out of this cave, and then they take it home, and a thing that I loved in this movie, because it felt like such an honest kid thing, outside of the garage itself, which is the most stereotypical garage in the history of movies, because it has like a fishing net and like a loose hubcap in it.
It's like but it's also like a garage in a condominium.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they definitely live on an upper floor of an apartment building and yet also have an attached garage.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, they get the globe home and then they start cleaning it with Windex.
Don't get carried away, George.
And I felt like that was the most real thing.
Yeah, that was a very sad, like, I had expected it to be like a lamp and like a genie was gonna come out.
Sure.
So I was a little disappointed.
Right.
But they got sucked in. It was like a reverse one, I guess.
Yeah, it was reverse genie.
Yeah.
And then they get spit back out.
Yeah. If that technology exists,
Yeah, keep going.
just, shoot everybody out.
Or at the very least, why don't they like wake up, because everybody's asleep inside the city, wake up
guess.
some soldiers and send them out with the kids?
Yeah.
Or
know.
when you're being threatened by the Ood, shrink the Ood.
That kind of happens,
So, well, the Ood shrink themselves later.
I guess.
I guess.
I don't know.
We should end every sentence about this movie with, I guess.
Here's my other question.
Yeah.
The city of Shandar can shrink itself,
Yeah.
and it can travel interdimensionally,
Yeah.
and it probably has several other great features about it.
They have a booming economy.
Mm-hmm.
They have more parking garages per capita than any other city in their dimension.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you're going to have all this,
Yeah.
maybe you want more than 12 hours of auxiliary power on it? What do you think?
Yeah. Because the big MacGuffin of this movie is that, I don't remember either of these kids' names. The boy
Mm-hmm.
has knocked a battery off of the outside of this thing. And without the battery that powers the shrunkiness, it will automatically just expand. Although you would think that once you're shrunk, that would be it, that you would then need power to unshrunk.
Right.
But I'm no Shandar scientist.
Huge design flaw to have your battery on the outside. So vulnerable.
Just barely connected.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah.
2 prongs in there.
Yeah, dumb. Not even a ground.
No, geez. Goodness.
Idiots. I like, though, when they get unshrunken from the city, the 2 kids.
Uh-huh.
That then the girl immediately, they start talking like it was a dream.
Yeah, without, like, there's no hesitation. She just immediately comes out, goes, wow, what a crazy dream I had.
I just had the weirdest dream. I dreamt that we were tiny.
Just standing here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I blacked out.
That raises some questions about their dealings with the police.
And what they're doing with that Windex.
Oh, no.
Yep, that's right.
Tide Pods.
They also at one point, like when they're cleaning it, they're immediately like, oh, check out this cool alien city.
Yeah, what?
It is a city. But not like any city I've ever seen.
Maybe it came from outer space.
Why is that wouldn't your first thing be like, oh, it's snow globe?
And if you have a city that can shrink,
Yeah.
I suppose you want that for the purposes that they're using it to kind of hide from an alien race that wants to kill you or destroy your city.
Yeah.
Maybe not put it in such a ornamental thing, you know? Maybe kind of hide it.
Right, or keep it like in a room somewhere.
Yeah, a
it's-
vault.
Yeah. It's it's worth it. We only ever meet this Prime guy.
Yeah.
He's the only Shandarian that we ever meet in this whole movie. I was very disappointed that there weren't like a lot of shots of like people inside the globe like running around, like little tiny people, or because like they stick the globe in a refrigerator at one point. Would have liked to see a bunch of people shivering, or
They couldn't afford that.
or like they turn it upside down and everybody's going, oh.
Well, he does that. Prime does that.
No, he shows up. He can communicate to them via any mirror, any reflective surface.
Yeah, that was strange, but I also enjoyed it.
We've got a big problem here.
The Ood are in my living room talking with my mom.
I have them on my detectors. Start moving.
Which, as if he's trying to gaslight the children, he only does to the children. He does not talk to any adult ever.
Well, no, at one point they're driving in a truck, and he appears in the rearview mirror, and the truck driver can hear him, but like just totally ignores it.
No, worse. It's worse than that. The truck driver says, "What the heck is that?" The boy goes, "Oh, that's my wrist phone." What?
Yeah.
What's that? And then the truck driver doesn't go, "Wrist phone?"
What was that?
It's my wrist phone. Come in. I read you. Come in.
Just, okay.
Well, hey, I don't know how old this movie is, man. That could have been made last year. That's possible.
It was not.
Right.
And
VHS.
here's how I know it wasn't. That kid's haircut
Ugh. Woof.
from the depths of the 90s.
The whole thing is from the 90s.
I'm pretty sure I had that haircut at one point, or an approximation thereof.
Close.
Yeah.
Close. So the Ood run around
Yeah.
throughout the whole movie trying to find this shrunken city.
The Ood, who, it's worth noting, can appear as disguised humans whenever they need to.
Unless you have a regular magnifying glass.
I think that was a special super science magnifying glass that Prime gave them so they could see the Ood through their disguises.
Whatever. But it was great when the Ood disguised themselves. For the most part, I think 2 or 3 of the people were the same throughout the movie. But at other points,
Yeah.
there's like women running around, then there's
Yeah.
not women, then there's different guys. It's strange.
Right, yeah. Like, I feel like the lead Ood guy was the same guy.
Absolutely.
And then the other Ood guys were whoever was free in the crew that afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, get the lady from craft services over here.
She can come.
Yeah, go get Crafty. She'll be an Ood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at certain points, they're construction workers. Other points, they're hipsters.
They're, like scientists.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's dumb.
I liked it.
All right. Here's the big lesson, though, of the Shrunken City. Adults are useless.
Right.
Do not trust authority figures.
Absolutely.
That is the message of the Shrunken City. Because at no point do they encounter an even barely intelligent adult.
No, they've clearly pulled the wool over the police eyes before in the past, so it's no surprise they're doing it now.
Well, so this police station that they go to, which is, is an office.
At best.
Yeah. And features, one uniformed policeman?
Yep.
Who could not have more donuts on his desk.
True.
And who was easily bilked by a career kleptomaniac.
Yeah, that woman, I forgot about that completely until just now, but she even steals the donuts.
Yeah, she steals the donut. So he's given her the business about, listen, you really need to stop stealing stuff.
Yeah,
And
right.
she's like, whatever. And then, like an idiot, he leaves the room for, 20 minutes.
Right.
Now, there are other cops in the room still.
Yeah, there's other people all around.
He still gets up, steals all of his donuts, goes to a cabinet, steals the Shrunken City.
Right.
Just 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leaves. No one says anything.
At all. Ramona. Silly Ramona.
Meanwhile, the kids are in the back being interrogated by a sergeant when their poorly dubbed mothers show up.
Oh, yeah, what was that?
I just don't know what to say about all this.
Well, I do. Young lady, you are grounded.
I don't.
So, you know what? The truck driver was poorly dubbed, too. I
Yeah.
don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. It was only 30 blocks out of my way. Oh, if you get a chance, tell your uncle I'm not a taxi.
Yeah, but the kids did not seem dubbed.
No. I don't understand. It's crazy.
Maybe they only had so many microphones.
I guess.
Like, listen, these kids are gold. We're recording all of that. Grown-ups laters.
Yeah.
There is also an exciting chase sequence in a coffee bean factory.
Yeah, that was the most elaborate coffee roastery or whatever. I've never seen such a thing.
Well, to be fair, I've never been to such a place.
Yeah, but I only assume that like Folgers is like that size.
Like, here's the thing. I assume it was real because it's not like they had the budget to like make a coffee factory.
Right, it was definitely real, but it was crazy.
Somebody on the crew knew a guy who had a coffee factory.
I think the coffee people made the movie.
That's possible. That's possible. One of the joys of watching this or any full moon feature is at the beginning of the tape, you do get really harangued with advertising for their new line of action figures.
Full Moon introduces the Puppet Master action figure series. 8 dolls that come alive with movable parts and accessories to spare.
The Puppet Master action figures.
Yeah, creepy Puppet Master. If you've never seen the Puppet Master franchise, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Right.
I recently, have you ever seen any of the Puppet Master movies?
I don't want to.
I recently watched the first one.
Good.
Terrible. The puppets, the murdering puppets, are barely in it.
Well, I mean, let's go back to the monster.
Right. Yeah.
Those puppets.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but still.
So they don't. Puppets is not what they do well.
But it is what they've built their brand on.
I can dig it.
But yeah, Shrunken City was not that bad.
So.
Yeah.
The Shrunken City.
Yeah.
I'm sitting watching this movie, doing my due diligence.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I'm into it. I'm like, okay, this is all right. I could see like some money in this. It'd be a good movie.
Are you watching it regular speed?
Regular speed. This one.
Oh,
Both of them. Both of them I watched regular speed.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
So, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
And we're at the end.
Yeah.
The Ood have been defeated.
Yeah.
They're talking to Prime about something.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's no more movie.
Hey, that's okay. We don't want anything.
Which is rather fortunate because, as I said, we can't repay you. However, I would like, speaking for Shandar and for myself...
I don't know how it ends.
You don't know how it ends?
A terrible cliffhanger. I know they beat the Ood, but that's it. It cut out. There's no more movie. It's a terrible cliffhanger for me.
Well, here's the deal. So I was sick last weekend. So I was home sick on Friday. And I decided I wanted to knock these movies out.
Yep.
So I didn't have the copy with me.
Okay.
So I went online. You can watch this thing for free with your Amazon Prime subscription.
Dang it.
So I'd watched like the first half hour here.
Yeah.
So I watched the remaining hour on Amazon Prime, which is, against not what I want to do, but
Right.
I was home. I didn't feel great. Whatever. Okay, so now I'm trying to remember how it ended, so I can tell you
how Shrunken City ended.
Right. Okay. So let me try and piece it together. So at the end, there's a big fight at the end in a junkyard.
Right.
You saw
Great
that.
fight. Yeah, and they're speaking to Prime, and Prime goes, "Speaking for Shandar." That's it, and then it ended. And I was devastated.
I gotta be honest with you. I think that might be how it ended for me too.
God.
Even because I'm really racking my brain, and I got nothing.
I didn't get credits. I didn't get nothing. So I really don't know what anybody's name is.
Well, yeah. Do you care?
No, I don't. I could have looked it up.
Yeah. And well, now you could go to Amazon and watch the end of it.
I'm not going to.
No. But no, I must have seen it. I have no memory of the absolute end of this thing. I do remember that the Ood almost catch the bottle.
Right. They're like inside. They go inside.
Yeah. Well, but prior to that, they are temporarily stopped when one of the kids.
They're like shooting lasers out of their hands at it.
Yeah. But you're forgetting when they use the construction crane.
Okay, so here's the deal with the construction crane what would you even call that? Like the claw machine.
Yeah, yeah.
So they should have earlier in the movie shown the kids at like an arcade playing the claw machine.
You're absolutely right.
Because that was such a huge moment when he gets in that little truck or whatever, and claw machines it.
Yeah.
And that was the worst effects I've ever seen.
Well, for some reason they sped up the film.
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah. This whole movie is just wasting time.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much filler in this movie.
We needed a callback to his skills at the claw machine.
No. We need to set aside 5 minutes of this to watch the kleptomaniac lady sit next to an old man and systematically steal every piece of his lunch.
And I was so upset that when they caught up to her, she wasn't just scarfing on donuts.
She gives the city back and they're done with her very quickly.
Yeah, no more Ramona.
No. Now, speaking of claw machine,
All right.
unrelated note, but a thing I feel compelled to share.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest claw machine thing I have seen, in the last week or so. Yeah.
Okay.
So HBO just had a documentary about like the last 5 years of David Bowie's life.
Okay.
So I'm watching that. And they had some very rare footage of like behind the scenes Bowie.
Regular behind the scenes Bowie.
Yeah, just like hanging out. Which is what I'm there for, because as you may or may not know, one of the obsessions of my life is I want to know what a lazy Sunday between Bowie and Iman is like.
Who cares?
I want to know, are they sitting around in their jammies? Are they eating crackers and watching Bravo? I want to know. Anyway.
He's making her work through mazes. That's clearly what's happening.
Anyway, they have this footage of Bowie on tour having stopped off at like this truck stop in the middle of nowhere. And he and like a guitarist from his band spend 20 minutes taking turns at a claw machine trying to win something. And watching David Bowie obsess over a claw machine.
Now, do you have the same recollection of our father being extremely good at the claw machine?
He was pretty good at it.
Am I inflating that?
You might be inflating it slightly. I mean, certainly his average is enhanced by that he'll play a claw machine with no provocation.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was pretty good at it.
Okay.
I feel like I'm not bad.
I'm terrible.
Oh, I have a distinct memory of winning a stuffed ducky from a claw machine when we went to the Cleveland Zoo.
Oh, God. No.
It was fun.
I don't remember it.
I know, I think it was the same trip that we went to Kings Island.
And
they had that Smurfs ride.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's no Indiana Beach.
Nothing is Indiana Beach. Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of Shrunken City. I'm looking at my notes to see if there's anything else worth bringing up. Like it's
that's all I care about. Yeah, I'd watch it. Yeah. I would watch it.
I thought it was weird that they weren't brother and sister. It seemed like it was weird storytelling stuff, like trouble to make them not be brother and sister.
I guess. I don't know.
Because it's not like they kissed or anything at any point.
No, good point.
There's a point when, to inconvenience the Ood, she shoves a rake underneath their van tire.
Worked perfectly.
That was pretty great. That was some good Beverly Hills Cop style mayhem.
Yeah.
And again, it harkens back to all their trouble with the law.
And I assume they could choose any van or mode of transport.
Yeah, because the Ood just stole a car.
They stole the worst van that had to be in existence at the time.
Well, I assume they just stole whatever van was like at the construction site, where they beamed in or whatever.
Then you get a different one.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Also, at the end, they need a compass all of a sudden to find the Shrunken City.
Yeah, and he just has it.
Well, and he's had it like for most of the movie, I feel like, because I kept going, what the heck is that thing he's wearing?
That? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But also, Prime acts like a compass is some crazy future technology.
Right.
Like
Magnets.
I'm not sure that you guys are gonna have one of these.
Mm-hmm.
When he probably could have, walked him through magnetizing a nail and putting it in water.
Or, he could have just given them a tool.
Right.
Because he can take stuff in and out.
Or he could have enlarged some soldiers or something. And
Yes.
this movie would not have been a problem.
Or just transport the city however they did it the first time.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, they needed the battery first, though.
Right.
The city at least should have like little rockets on the bottom of it, though, so it can like
Oh, now we're talking about little droids or something? What are
fly
you talking
around.
about?
No, just little rockets,
Okay.
so that it can fly and like go to other places.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't need to draft some chump to carry them around.
Some chump.
I also would have liked another thing I felt like this movie was missing was super tiny guys running around our world. Like if Prime was like, I'm going to send my 2 best guys to help you, but he doesn't enlarge them right, so they're still super small, and they're like,
or they're super big.
and they're running around, and they have to keep like putting them in their pockets.
That'd be funny. That
Right.
would be funny.
Yeah. These are-
Again,
yeah.
some money on this movie, and it's good.
Yeah. But is this a movie that I feel like we could have watched on Nickelodeon some afternoon? Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right after Are You Afraid of the Dark? Something like that.
Right. Or like I feel like there were like for a long time on Sundays they would show the same 4 or 5 movies over and over again. Oh.
I'm here. I'm listening.
All right. Like there was one.
The cats had their ball out.
Ah, those cats.
Yeah.
The darn cats. But like there was some movie about a little kid who's like, I don't know, parents had died and he had a stuffed animal dinosaur that could talk.
No, I
I
don't
feel
know.
like Nickelodeon showed that like 100 times.
Sure. Is Nickelodeon still around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the turtles are on there.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any turtles in a while.
They got a good cartoon now.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I bought a box of stuff recently.
Yep.
And it had that Donatello in it where he's in like a basketball uniform.
Right.
He's getting
Yep.
ready to shoot baskets.
Yep.
Yep. I was like, yeah, we had one of these.
I tried to explain how many turtles we had.
We had a lot of turtles.
Yeah.
I don't know if we had more turtles than we had G.I. Joes or He-Man guys or whatever at their peak, but we did have a lot. We certainly had more like versions of the turtles themselves.
Yeah, I don't think we had too many actual like, hey, it's Michelangelo, it's Donatello, the regular ones. We had all like this is Space Donatello. This is Party Michelangelo.
Well, we had like a Michelangelo in a wetsuit.
Yep.
We had a Donatello in a trench coat. We had that bat. Like mostly, if you showed them to me, I'd be like, "Oh yeah."
I had that one.
Like I remember
one,
that spacesuit one that you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Heroes in a half shell.
Turtle power.
Well, I think that's it for the Shrunken City.
This has been a particularly horrible experience.
Hey, you're welcome, everyone.
Join us next time when we'll be talking about another bad movie.
Woo!